Hello and welcome to another episode of the RevRx podcast, where we discuss how to thrive in faith, family, and health. My name is Chad Potts, and I'm your host. Before we get to our episode, I want to remind all the men out there that November 22nd is the day that we begin our 40 Grit Challenge. This is a challenge that I designed for men out there who want to finish 2024 strong. The way this works is for the last 40 days of this year, starting November 22nd, you're going to focus intentionally on building some habits around three areas of your health: body, mind, and soul. You're going to work out every day. You're going to complete a gratitude journal prompt every day. And you're going to read a Bible verse and a devotion that I've written each and every day. And what that's going to do is that's going to enable you to build those habits that are going to focus on your body, mind, and soul. And it's going to really help you unleash your potential and go into 2025 with positive momentum. How many times do we go through the holidays and we just let ourselves go? We coast through there, and come January 1st, we've got to work through all of the struggle the holidays have brought us, and to even think about any of those resolutions. And so I've created this with men in mind who really just want to level up. They want to play a bigger game. They want to become the very best father and husband that they can possibly be. And this is going to help you build those habits. So if you want to check us out, www.therevrx.com/40grit. That's THEREVRX.com/40grit, GRIT. You can also follow me on social media. You can find me as Chad Potts personally or RevRx. Look forward to starting that challenge with each and every one of you. Thank you for those who have already signed up, but you don't want to miss this. It's going to be a great opportunity to become the very best version of yourself. And that takes us to today's episode, which is all about playing a bigger game. Today, I'm so excited for you to meet my friend Markus Kaulius. Markus has been featured on Forbes magazine, among others. He's really a force to be reckoned with when it comes to self-improvement. But not only that, he's a man of God. He's a man of faith, and he believes that God comes first in everything that we do. And he's going to give us some tips from the book that he's written and from his experiences with his own story and his own life about how to really level up in life. Too many times I see men that are trapped, they're stuck, they're complacent, and they don't see that there's a way out. But we're going to talk about how today there is a choice that can be made. And today you can start your journey to being the very best version of you. So buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be a fun ride today. Markus brings so much energy. He's the most positive person I know. And so without further ado, I introduce to you my new friend, Markus Kaulius. Markus, thank you so much for joining us today on the RevRx podcast, man. What a privilege it is to have you here with my audience.
Thank you, Chad. Psyched to be here. I'm excited for this conversation, and I'm excited to give your audience some big takeaways, some actionable advice so that they can make changes in their life and experience something new today.
Love it. I've been following you a while, and I really appreciate the work you're doing in the world, particularly when it comes to helping people level up. I see people every day that are settling for far less than their capacity.
Yes.
Settling for far less than their potential.
Yeah.
And you've decided to do something about that. And so I'd love to get into that today with you. I'd love for you just to introduce yourself to us. Tell us a little bit about your story and kind of what motivated you to go down the journey that you're going down today as an author and a speaker and all of the good things you've got going on.
Oh, thank you so much, Chad. You know what? I'm actually going to start with something you just said, what you recognize, and it's clearly the same thing that I recognize. It's one of the greatest tragedies of today: complacency. Everybody is just so complacent. We're striving for comfort over everything else. Wow,
yes,
I'm so comfortable with my life, and taking a risk that sounds uneasy, and man, we just settle for so little in our lives. You've been gifted with so many blessings,
Sure.
so much talent, and you're just going to use it to watch Netflix? Really? Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah, that's all you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I've been blessed in my life to have turned that switch. God turned some different switch in me to go, no. I'm addicted to growth. I feel just so right when I'm growing.
Yeah.
I need to listen to my podcasts every day. I need to get my exercise every day. And I do not feel right, just like someone wouldn't feel right if they took the day off of eating food.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like I'm put on this planet to help others, not recognize their faults or anything like that. Man, I have so much mercy for people. If you are
Sure.
super comfortable and you do not want to change, that's fine. This message is not for you. But I'm guessing you're not listening to this podcast because you like comfort.
Yeah.
So if you are going, man, I think he's talking to me, I should be playing a bigger game in life. Yes. I'm talking to you. So hopefully today there's something in my message, maybe something in my history that makes you go, oh my goodness, this guy was once just like me. And if he can do it, then I can do it too.
A lot of power in that. Sure.
Beautiful. So let's talk about where I started, which is a very stuck human being. I was so stuck. We grew up very poor. After the divorce when I was 7, my dad was out of my life. My mom now had to go back to school full-time, work full-time. We were not only poor, but just poor in spirit, poor in love. There was, I struggled to experience love when I was young. I didn't believe I was worthy of it. And when you are so stuck like that, so I'm hoping people are listening going, oh, he's kind of talking my language right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just hated that feeling so much. I hated what people said about me, like the bullying, the holding me down. And I was inside going, no one understands me, but there must be something more for me. And so I'm hoping if someone has that voice inside them right now, I hope they're going, okay, I'm listening. Is there something I can do to do more with this life? And the answer is absolutely yes. And it's going to start with a choice. It really is that easy. It starts with just, okay, I'm going to choose a different path starting today.
Yes.
Now, that choice is the easy part. And yes, it gets more tricky and difficult, and you actually have to put in some work. But here's the thing. The unease you will feel on this new path, it has such massive payoff. So I know the unease you feel right now living in this complacent life that you've created, and that comes with zero judgment. But there's so much pain I know you're experiencing because I experience that pain every single day.
Yeah.
However, once I started making the moves on this new path, it didn't just mean I had to get to the goal to enjoy. Like, I'm not there yet. I've reached many goals, but I keep setting new ones. But way, way better than that. Just the act of being on the journey, moving on the path feels so good. You can start getting that good feeling today by doing something about it and saying, okay, I've taken the choice. Okay, I've made this choice. I'm going to take the steps. And you go get some exercise that you weren't planning on getting. You go for a walk today and you go, oh my goodness, that actually does feel pretty good. You don't go, oh my goodness, I have a totally different body now. No.
Right.
And I'm so sorry that the internet and social media has you believing that, which I get it. It does. Oh, you can change everything by tomorrow, your whole body, your whole... I'm sorry, that's not true. However, if you just enjoy the moment and go, you know what? I'm awesome. I made the choice and then I went out and did something about it and I'm on this better path.
Yeah.
That is the change that you can appreciate, enjoy, and then it just keeps getting better every day from there.
I love that. And one of the things you hit on is that we all have a choice. We all absolutely have a choice. I think sometimes we think this is our lot in life.
Yes.
And you use the word stuck.
Yeah.
I relate very well to that word stuck. I think most people do.
Yes.
I found myself, early on as a young adult, I'd graduated from college, graduated from pharmacy school, got the degree, got the house, got the job, all of this, living the American dream. I was stuck.
Yeah.
Something was missing.
Yes.
And so it took me years to figure that out. But, it begins with a decision. That's the turning point in your life, is that you can say to yourself, I don't have to stay stuck.
Yes.
There is an option for me. And that's what I love. I love the positivity and the energy that you bring to this, because there's very much hope on the other end of that.
Yes.
It's that problem where, you start going through life and you're in this rinse repeat cycle.
Yeah.
Right. Like you wake up, you go to work, you come home, you eat dinner, you go to bed. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat.
Yep.
And I talk to so many people that have this issue of, I just feel like there's more.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more for me. I feel like I was made for more. I feel like there has to be more to life than this.
Yes.
And that's exactly what you're describing. And so it starts with a choice. And I love how you mentioned this positive momentum that we can begin to implement into our lives, because when we are aware enough of the fact that, hey, there is a choice to be made, and then we start walking down that path of changing things, that starts a little bit of momentum, right?
Yes.
Unfortunately, we live in a culture that tells us that we can have everything we want right now.
Yeah.
And that's just not the reality.
Nope.
We can't change our entire lives in a day.
Yeah.
But you know what? We can change our days, and days become weeks, and weeks become months, and months become years, and years become lifetimes.
Amen.
And so it begins with the day. I love that, man.
Oh,
And so your story of, you've been there. That adds so much credibility to this. You're not some guy that says, I was born with a silver spoon and, everything was easy for me.
no.
You feel the pain, you feel the struggle.
Oh,
And
that's
and
what
that
I think that makes the best stories.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not trying to highlight my stories. I'm telling you, wherever stuck you feel right now,
Mm.
this is a great part of your story. Nobody wants to hear the story of, I took a $20 million loan from my dad and I made another $3 million off of it. That's how awesome I am.
Right.
Everybody wants to hear I came from nothing. So
Yeah.
wherever you are, this is a phenomenal start to your story. And Chad, I just want to go back to something you're highlighting that I love that you're highlighting. When we're talking about this choice and being stuck, one of the problems that people aren't recognizing is that when you feel stuck, what you're actually feeling is out of control, meaning I don't have control over these things. Chad, there's nothing I can do. The government is making me do this. My job, my this, my bosses, my wife, my this, all these people have created this life that I can't move in here.
Yep.
When you make the choice, right now you can make this choice to take control of something, anything at all. So I come from a fitness background. So I talk about fitness. I talk about diet. I talk about your exercise routines. If you just go and do something today for your health, you recognize, oh, wait, I'm in control of that. And if you can now take that and use that anywhere else in your life, like, I'm going to turn off the news. The news, politics will not impact me today. Wow. I'm in control of that too.
You're removing an influence. Yeah.
That's right. And you have so much control over your life. As soon as you start taking that control, and that's what I did. I recognized I had all this control over my life. I'm the one who gets to make these choices.
Yeah.
If you hand them over to others, they will absolutely make those choices for you.
Yes.
And I'm sorry to say, even if they're your family, they don't always have your best interests in mind.
No.
And it's not because they don't love you. It might be reinforced by their love.
Right.
Are you sure you want to do that? Oh, that sounds risky. I did that before. You might not like the outcome. They have the best intentions, but you have the control. You can make that decision and go, hey, I'm going to do this.
That's so powerful.
Yes.
So many times we play victim, and I say that with no judgment or shame, but it's just the place we find ourselves sometimes.
Yes.
I'm in this rut. It's usually not because of ourselves, or at least we don't tell ourselves that. I'm in this rut because XYZ has happened to me.
Yes.
You mentioned it yourself, in your story, you were in the place that you were in completely outside of your control. You couldn't influence your parents and whether or not they stayed married or divorced. You couldn't understand, you couldn't influence the fact of, where you find yourself now, but you can influence whether or not you stay there.
Oh, dang, you're good, brother. Oh, I love this. Can we stay on this victim card for a second too?
Yes.
I just love everything you're saying. And I'm sorry if this sounds cliche, everybody, but you have the choice every single day to either be a victim or a victor.
Yeah.
And listen, again, with no judgment, with only mercy here. We all have a victim card to play.
Yep.
I absolutely played that card for so many years. You don't understand. We are so poor. You don't understand. I don't have a father in my life. You don't understand. I don't have parents. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have a chance. And people accept it. Oh my goodness. Oh, you poor thing.
Mhm.
All that pity, all that victimhood got me nowhere.
Yeah.
So as soon as I went, you know what? Forget that. Forget all of that. You guys keep your pity. You keep all that. And I'm going to go, in spite of that,
Mhm.
I'm going to do something about it. I will. What can I do? So yeah, maybe when I was 7 years old, I couldn't do anything about my financial lot, but I still tried. I was that kid who was constantly, even in the rain, setting up the lemonade stand. I was doing everything I could. I remember what it was like to pick weeds for 1 cent per weed. Do you know how hard it is to make $1 off of that? But I did it.
Wow.
So we have this choice. You have this choice today. Don't just play that victim card over and over. And if you do, hey, again, I love you. I got mercy for you. But if you ever choose to go, I wonder if this guy's right. You know what? Maybe I'll try it the other way, even for a day. Just see how it feels.
Yeah.
And see how much control you actually have to go, you know what? It actually kind of felt good that, yeah, I took control of my exercise. I didn't let McDonald's tell me what my diet was going to be. I chose what my diet was going to be. See how much better you feel.
Yeah. It brings up this truth that I've come across time and time again, and it's the fact that it may not be your fault, but it becomes your responsibility.
Ooh, boom.
You know, it becomes our responsibility to step up and say, I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to play the bigger game.
Yes.
And it's kind of what you're becoming known for. You're known as the bigger game guy.
I will take that.
So, yeah, to the point of hey, you've written a book about it. Can we get into a little bit about that and what really influenced you to write the book? And then, maybe even getting in some of those 7 principles that you have. But yeah, tell us a little bit about the book and
I love
how that will help our men and women listening to really and truly play the bigger game.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. So I felt very much called to write this book. It had been on my mind for years, been on my heart. But there was a moment a couple of years ago where I really felt God say, it's time. It's time now. And even to the point where he started to clear my plate so that I would be forced to write this book. And I really loved the process because there was just so many, as I was typing, I really felt that this book was being written through me. And all these experiences that I've had in my life, the book is littered with the different stories to help illustrate the different points that I'm making. But I'll tell you guys this about my book. If you end up listening to the Audible or reading the book, by the way, it is my voice. So if you are liking what you're hearing, you're liking the energy, you can expect it from the Audible book.
That's great.
But what I put into this was simple principles and then challenges. Because you have to do these challenges. You have to actually take action. And this is one of the other problems with this world is we don't take action on anything. We consume. We are a consumer society. We scroll and even if you are one of the amazing humans that are remaining that actually read books, how many of us are actually doing something with the knowledge?
Wow.
And think about this wild thought. Let's say there was this chance you read every single book on the planet. You read it all and did nothing with it. How much of your life would change? Nothing. In fact, it would actually get worse because you'd have all this knowledge and you know what you should be doing with it and you're still doing nothing. Your life will get worse.
Yeah. Guilt.
Exactly. But if you take some action on this, so that's what these challenges are in the book. They say, put down the book, take this challenge right now, try this right now. And there's just these little perspective shifts, just these tiny little changes in your life to help you go, oh, wow, maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way. And I'd love to give you one of my favorite illustrations about this.
Sure.
Let's say you go to your car and, oh my goodness, my keys. Oh no, I can't get into my car. And you look inside your driver's side window, you look and nope, they're not in the car. You walk away and you're pissed, but you change your perspective just slightly. And you go to the window in the back and you look and clear as day. Now I can see the keys are in the car. Think of how much of your life works exactly that way. You look at it this way, and I can't figure this out. This is a mess. But you or someone else goes, hey, what if you just looked at it from that angle? And everything changes when you just
Wow.
change your perspective a little bit. And I was so blessed to learn this when I was 15 years old. And my mentor, Tony Robbins, entered my life at 15 and showed me a new perspective. And ever since, as soon as you really grasp that concept that I just gave, you can recognize that every single day, every single challenge that you have in your life might not be as big as you think it is. It's a perspective question more than anything else. And often when I'm looking at something so horrifying that's straight in front of me, but I look at it this way, it's like, oh, that's not that bad.
Wow. There's so much power in shifting perspective.
Yes.
I oftentimes counsel with people both in both my careers, both as a pastor and a pharmacist. I see this happen in both places. People tend to kind of overreact to a situation that's happening in their life, either positively or negatively, right?
Yep.
And one of the things that I've gotten to where I told them is I'm like, look, things are rarely as bad as you think they are
That's right.
in the moment,
Yes.
and things are rarely as fantastic in the moment as you think they are. Let time do its thing. Separate yourself, take a different perspective on it.
Yeah.
Because time is a big shifter of perspective as
Huge.
well. And you know what? You're going to see that it's not as big a deal as you think.
Yeah.
And that's a good way of looking at it. I love that illustration.
Thank you.
If you look through the one window, can't see it.
Yes.
Now my whole day is ruined.
Yes.
You take a little step sideways and you look at it from a different angle. Problem solved.
Boom.
And I want to go back to the issue about books. I'm a book guy. I don't know if you can see behind me. I got wall-to-wall bookshelves. I kind of I have a book problem. And I'm a big consumer. And I found myself doing only consuming. Right. So I'll read the book and I'll be able to say, oh, in this book, they said this. And I can have some facts and figures and things. But what I found is that, you know what, I'm not taking any action from what I'm learning. So one of the things that I've started doing, and I'm not saying this is the right way to do it, but your book does it for us, because your book has the 7 different principles listed, and then it has the challenges along the way, and it makes you pause and say, okay, so what?
Yes.
And so when I'm reading a book now, and it's, if it's something along the lines of business, or if it's something along the lines of self-help, just becoming a better version of yourself, whatever that may be, I'll take notes as I'm reading the book. And it's a little more labor intensive, but I'll take notes along the way. And then every so often, I'm going to leave a page blank, and that's going to be my so what page.
Yes.
Because knowledge without action, is in a lot of ways pointless.
It is.
And knowledge isn't pointless, but you know what I'm saying. If we're not doing anything with it, it's wasted.
Yes.
And so there's so much value in being able to pause and then say, all right, now what? So what? How does this apply to me? And I love that it's structured that way.
Thank you.
Is that kind of been your experience as well? It's easy to read a book and say, oh yeah, that was great. I enjoyed that. Really got a lot out of it.
Yes.
Next.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And what did I get out of it? Oh, shoot. Yeah. Wasn't there a good point on nothing?
Yeah. Yeah.
But when I started to do something very similar to what you're doing, which is regular pauses, really think about something and start to paraphrase it in my head, if you will. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, now the point sets in. And one of my favorite things to do, I encourage this to people so much. When you come across a hot spot in a book, something that's like, oh my goodness, this is a principle that would change me. Yeah. Go tell it to somebody. Because what's so awesome when you're about to tell it to someone, your brain is going, okay, well, you better learn this thing. You don't want to sound like a fool. So do we need to reread it? Okay, I'll reread it. And you absorb it like, okay, I'm about to teach it. And for me, I love teaching this to my daughters. Mm-hmm. And I love talking about this stuff with my wife. Now, my wife is a super intellectual. She's also an author, but she's like a real intellectual author. So I don't want to show up unequipped. So I got to know this stuff. And same with my daughters. Like if I'm reading something and I'm going, oh, this is life-changing for me. Well, of course it's going to be life-changing for my daughters. So I don't want to just go, well, there's this principle that's kind of like, And they're going to go, what are you even talking about, Dad? I want them to be like, whoa, Dad, that's profound. Yes, I'll use this. So when we go to teach somebody else, we are going to digest it and utilize it and understand it far better, and it will make a greater impact in our own lives.
So I've had the experience of going to share something that's just blown me away with my wife, and I'll get halfway into it, and I'm like, I don't think that's right. Let me go back and if you know it well enough to teach, that's kind of my barometer. If you know it well enough to teach it, it's going to make a difference.
Yes.
And so I love that. I love that component.
By the way, Chad, we've all been there, brother. We've all started to tell her, okay. And then she even asks like one little question, or she makes this look on her face, like, and you're like, wait, I'm probably saying it wrong. Let me go read it and figure it out.
That's right. And so, one of the things I want to talk about are some of those practical tips. So if you find yourself stuck,
yes.
Step 1, realize there's a choice.
Yes.
Step 2, make that choice.
Yes.
Start walking down that path of improving yourself. Some of the examples we talked about were exercise, going for a walk, eating healthy, that sort of thing. But what are some ways that my listeners can really start stepping into this bigger game? And what are some of those decisions that they can make along those paths to kind of make it bigger and bigger as we go?
I love this. So I'm gonna go down a path. The word modeling just came into my mind. I love modeling. And what I'm not saying I love, hey, how you doing?
Not that kind.
Not that kind of modeling. Modeling means finding someone in my life who already clearly is living out this principle or whatever it might be that you want in your life. So it could be fitness, it could be health, it could be being a good dad, it could be being a good husband, it could be being a great entrepreneur, be someone who's good with money. Whatever characteristic that you're going, I wish I had more of that in my life, you can choose and find somebody in your life who models it well and just start asking some questions. And now taking it a step further, one of my favorite things to do for my own mind is to recognize that if someone else can do it, there's no reason that I can't do it.
Yes.
This is so profound. And I think so many people go, well, he can do it or she can do it, but not me. I wasn't born with whatever. So I want to go back real quick to let people know. My first 15 years on this planet were brutal. You would not recognize me. If you saw me, you'd go, there's no way this is the same human being. Confidence, I had zero. And I want to focus on confidence for a second because I think the majority of human beings, even the confident ones, would be like, I would like it if I was a bit more confident.
Right.
Confidence is 100% a choice.
Yes.
I was not born with confidence. Up until I was 15, I literally had zero. If somebody said, this is who you are, I go, okay, that is me. I'm sorry for bothering you with my horrible presence. I was so blessed. There was this beautiful moment when I was 15, and I actually felt God say to me, hey, you're about to go on this trip, and where you're going to end up, no one knows who you are. You don't have to be the person that you've been made to think you should be by the people at home. Yeah. And the number one thing on my mind, well, I want to be a more confident person. Now, here's the coolest thing, and I hope people are listening right now because this can be life-changing if you let it. You already know what it would look like to be that better version of yourself. Wow. So in that moment, what does it look like to have more confidence? Well, if I'm supposed to have more confidence, my shoulders are going to be a bit more back, and I'm going to make better eye contact when I speak with you. And when I talk, I'm not going to talk like this and maybe, I'm so sorry, Chad, for my opinions. No, I'm a man of confidence. My opinions are worth as much as anybody else's. And when I shake your hand, you're going to feel that shake. And I'm going to keep eye contact. When I got off that plane, I was that different human being. I want to be really clear, though. I was the authentic me. I wasn't pretending to be someone I was not. I was just not allowing all the shackles that had been put on me all my life to hold me back any longer. And when I got off that plane and I was that new version of me, everyone accepted that new version of me. And I got all the spoils that someone with that kind of confidence should get.
Love it.
That changed in minutes. This doesn't have to take years. You don't have to go, oh, this is a 20-year journey. No, this can change today. You can try it out today. Will everybody accept you that way? No. And one of the hardest things to do is to do it with people who already know you.
Yeah.
Oh, are you pretending to be someone you're not? What if you just went, by the way, this is a true story. One of my employees, I love him for this so much. His name is Christian. Christian wanted to be a more confident person. And we had these big conversations, and Christian went to the mall and practiced on people he didn't know, just making eye contact and giving a little head nod.
Wow.
That's how easy it can be. A little more confident. Hey, you're going to learn so much. You're going to learn so much about interacting with others. Will it work on everybody? Of course not. I'm sure Christian had people going like, I don't know you. But he also had people for the first time go, that is so impactful. And now you get to decide. And ultimately, that's my biggest point here. You get to decide. I'm not telling you you have to be a more confident person. No. Right. But if you want to be, what's holding you back?
And getting into that a little bit, what is holding us back? I know for me, and I can't speak for you, I know for me, it was buying into a false narrative.
Yes.
A lot of it was negative self-talk.
Yes.
We're way harder on ourselves than we would ever be with anyone else.
Oh, yes.
A lot of it were in, you know, I'm a pastor. I have a Christian worldview. You're a man of faith as well. I believe we have an enemy that wants nothing more than to keep us from our potential.
100%. Yes.
And a lot of that is us entertaining these thoughts that come into our mind that we're not good enough, or no one will ever want to hear our voice.
Yeah.
Or we're not important.
Yes.
Those were the things that have gone through my mind in the last couple years. Because as I set off on a journey to start a coaching business, I have a doctorate in pharmacy. That helps me zero with marketing a business. I don't have an MBA. I don't have any credentials. Who am I? Well, God called me to it. I figure he'll equip me.
Yes.
When I started this podcasting journey, I'm naturally an introvert. How is that going to work? No one's going to want to listen to me. No one's going to want to hear my voice. You know what? I was called to it.
Yes.
I stepped out, made that decision, and stepped out, and you know the Lord will bless that.
Yes.
He will honor our stepping out in faith.
Yes.
And it's not until we get past realizing that a lot of what we believe about ourselves is not true that we'll ever be free enough to pursue being a courageous, being a bold, being a confident person. We've got to get past that, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Oh, Chad, so beautiful. I'd love to make two comments on what you just said. First, this idea that we're not qualified. Oh, it is such a lie of the enemy. And I want to just keep going with your example for a second. This idea of, hey, I'm an introvert. So that disqualifies me from being a podcaster.
Right.
So are there like no introverts on this planet who want to listen to podcasts?
Sure.
And are there any introverts out there who might not want to listen to an extrovert on a podcast? Like there's so many. So if we listen to that, if Chad had listened to that voice, no, only extroverts can be podcasters. Boom, you've got all these people going, well, so I'm an introvert and I'm forced to listen to these loudmouths. So that's number one.
Yeah.
Number two is this, and this is another principle from my book, and you wanted to give your listeners something concrete. So here's another one. Here's how our brain works, everyone. It's actually very similar to the way that Siri works. Everybody knows Siri from our phones, and if I speak too loud, she's going to get involved here.
She's listening.
So here's how our brain works. If I say, Marcus is about to start a podcast, and I go, Marcus, what are all the ways I'm going to fail? Because I'm a loser. It's going to go, allow me to give you some reasons. Here are all the failures in the last, actually, you know what? In your whole life. Let me pull something back up from many years ago, because you asked how am I going to fail. So boom, this, all these reasons, you're a loser. Oh, I'm not starting that podcast. However, if I said, what are all the reasons I'm going to win? It will do the same thing. It'll pull up all the reasons you will win. Oh, here, remember when you won this? Remember when you shouldn't even have been in that race and you won it? Boom, 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 boom. Wow. Unfortunately, how many of us just use it for the negative? And we ask negative things and we get negative answers and we go, oh, see, I shouldn't do anything. So if you recognize what I just said is a truth, and you start asking your brain positive things today. I want to be really clear. This is not just like, oh, positive thinking. You got to be more positive when you're, no. I'm saying just simply ask it more positive questions. And so I think I give this example even in the book. If I said, Siri, is it safe to travel by air? The answer will be super positive. It'll tell you that it is the safest way to travel.
Right.
If I said, Siri, there are a lot of plane crashes. It's not going to now give me a positive answer. No, it's a safe. No, it goes, you asked me about plane crashes. I'm going to tell you plane crash, this many dead, boom, 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 boom. So don't ask how many plane crashes. Ask, hey, is it safe? Ask the positive stuff and you're going to get more positive answers.
Learning to ask better questions. You want a hack.
Yeah.
We all want hacks.
Yeah.
We want shortcuts. We want hacks.
Yes.
You want a brain hack? Use it for the good.
Awesome.
Our brains are powerful.
Yes.
And more studies are coming out about how our brains work. You've got this gigantic mega computer in your brain.
Yes.
We still don't know how it works. We're this far into the human experiment, so to speak, and we don't know how it works. It's literally blowing our minds.
Yes.
And we're finding this evidence that's coming out to show us your brain looks for evidence of the questions that you ask.
That's right.
And that's exactly what you're saying. I love that.
Perfect.
And so, you find yourself stuck. Number one, I want you to know that you're not alone. There are so many stuck people out there. Yes. Used to be one. Marcus used to be one. Lots of people find themselves stuck. So don't beat yourself up about where you are.
Really good.
Instead, ask those questions. Flip the script. How can I be better?
Yes.
Not how did I get here to start with? Because there's lessons in the past. But the better question is, how can I get out of this place? And Marcus's book, Play a Bigger Game, is a huge part of what it looks like to step out of the limitations that life gives us sometimes and really reach your full potential.
Yeah.
And so it's been so fun, Marcus, to sit down, and you bring an energy and you bring an expertise that is so unique. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the work that you're doing to help people step into their calling and step into their purpose.
Oh, I appreciate that so much, Chad. Thank you. I love what you're doing, man. Thank you for letting me be part of this. And I want to just give people one more really exciting piece of information.
Sure.
If you are looking at me right now and I've got my crap together and I've got a great life, which I do, by the way, this is really exciting. I am not that far away from where you are today. This is not, oh yeah, just do these things I say, and in 40 years, you might be able to do it too. That's bullcrap. And again, that's the enemy giving you that lie to go, don't bother starting. That is
not even worth it.
A long race.
Yeah.
You are one decision away, just one, to being on a totally new path for life. And I just want to highlight something so wild. This is a wonderful brain thought. Can one penny make someone rich? You'd go, well, no, it's just a penny. Well, but hold on. Now I put another penny down. Am I rich yet? Well, no. At some point, you stop saying no. I don't know what that number is, but I keep putting pennies down until one time I put a penny down and you go, you know what? I guess now this is, I'm rich. Okay, that was one penny. So don't think you have to have all these pennies to be rich. No. It took one. So it takes one decision that you can make right this moment to change your life completely. Will you recognize it right away? Nope. But it starts with one.
Yeah. I'm a big believer in reaching your full potential.
Yes.
So many people settle. I was one of them.
Yes.
It's just time. The world needs us to step up and to become the men and the women that we were put on this earth to live.
Oh, we need that.
Become the men and women that we were put on this earth to be, and to live the lives that we were created to live. And so you're doing great work in helping people do that. Markus, how can my listeners find you? How can they enter into your world and see what you're all about?
Thank you so much. I would love that. I would love that. By the way, I would love to be in your cheerleading team. I want to be there cheering you on. If there's anything that I said today that resonated with you, what's the harm in reaching out to me? I just want to hear from you. I'm not going to try and sell you anything. I actually have nothing to sell you right now. I would just love to be cheering you on, because if my message resonated with you, that means there's something about me and my voice that you were meant to hear. And that's really exciting for me. So it would be a major blessing to me if you reached out to me one way or another. Come see me at playabiggergame.com. Find me on Instagram or at markuskaulius.com. Just one way or another, reach out to me. You're going to get a message back, because I love hearing from people. I love cheering people on. And tell me what resonated with you and what action are you going to take today to change your life and the life of everyone around you.
Wow, so powerful. Wouldn't you love to have Markus in your corner? Well, good news, you can. Thank you, my friend. What a blessing you are to me and to so many others. Keep being great, and look forward to seeing you maybe again in another episode.
I'd love that. God bless you, brother. Thank you for everything you're doing.
Yeah, thanks, Markus. Thank you for listening to the RevRx podcast. We hope you enjoyed what you heard today, and if so, we'd love it if you would hit that subscribe button so that you'll never miss a new episode from us. Also, feel free to leave us reviews and comments, as we'd love to hear from you. Be blessed and be the very best you.